I personally don't think giving customers points builds much loyalty at all. At best, it creates lock-in. But it's an excuse to start a dialogue. But a customer's loyalty to a brand comes from their cumulative experience with the brand across many different touch points, and not just the purchase touch point, as well as their perception of value. And that doesn't mean it has to be the lowest price, it's the overall perceived value that they get from that supplier. And that's really what builds loyalty over time and an affinity for a brand. But anyway, I think the points are really just an excuse to start a dialogue, and it's a way to measure.
It's a way to keep the score.
It's a way to keep score, exactly.
Can we talk about exchange of points? Because that's a sort of a contentious area, isn't it? Is it?
Well, I think in the context of Currency Alliance, because our platform is multi-loyalty currency, people just naturally assume that we're a loyalty currency exchange. And that actually makes up less than 3% of our total business.
Right.
The vast majority of Currency Alliance's business is related to introducing more liquidity, more freedom into the marketplace, so that big existing loyalty brands can offer more value to their customers, or someone who wants to launch a new loyalty program can set it up very quickly with a very light layer of technology and just pay on a monthly basis.
So what do you mean by liquidity?
Well, liquidity, that's a good question, because you don't hear marketing people talk about marketplace liquidity very often. But if you work in financial services or any industry with a complicated supply chain, you tend to focus a lot of your energy on improving marketplace liquidity, because the less friction, the lower the costs, the greater the functionality or freedoms for trading partners, the bigger the marketplace grows for everybody who can adapt to that new way of doing business.
But I can hear all the frequent flyer people tut-tutting as they listen to this, Chuck, and say, oh, we're very happy with 5% redemption, thank you very much. We don't actually want loads of people to redeem because we haven't got the seats on the aeroplane. Our bottom line would take a big hit if they redeem. That would be bad for business. So how do you argue with that one?
Big programs have known this for years. I mean, having worked at Avios and having worked at Virgin Atlantic, we've exchanged, both those programs have exchanged currency from Tesco to them for 20 years. And it's a very well-used thing. The biggest difficulty with transactions I've found from one to another is simply that the gates to get into the big programs are big gates, because they've got overnight, there's lots of different file transfer processes that go on, and they're complicated, and they're often bilateral.
So that's exactly our core business, is that historically it was very complicated, expensive to do these point-to-point integrations between partners. So very few of them got done. I think there's this massive unmet need of additional partners that would like to issue popular loyalty currencies, but they just can't do the connection to that legacy loyalty system. So our partners are putting Currency Alliance in front of their existing host loyalty program to enable these medium and smaller partners to connect with us in 3 to 5 days. And once they integrate with us, they have access to buy the currencies that their customers want, and then they report the transactions with their customers through our API, and we turn around and inject copies of those into these host loyalty systems, so the big brands have the master view of everything that's taking place with their customers. And on the platform, they retain total control and total visibility of their currency. They pick and choose which partners they want. They don't have to work with everyone, and they pay a tiny fee